Hello and welcome. My name is Christoph Putz and I'm your IT career guide. In today's video, we're going to talk about should you go after IT certifications or rather go after a degree, a college degree to advance your IT career. And this is less a discussion about how you can break into IT. I mean, both IT certifications and a college degree can definitely help you to get into IT, but that's a much larger question, a much bigger topic to talk about. Today's topic really just if you have the choice between going for a degree or go after certifications, which one is better for what situation? So, and that's really the first point to look at. What situation are you in? Are you really just looking for direction and you want to advance in your career? You're looking for something that builds a more stable foundation. And that's where a college degree, I want to say, is a more broader approach to get your career onto that type of foundation that you can really build up for the long term. Usually an IT-related computer degree is, I want to say, broad. It's usually not as specific. Of course, there are some, if you go to the right school with the right program, that are really specific towards, let's say, software development, database administration, and. But in general, most college degrees are really broad. But what a college degree shows to an employer in regards to you is that you are able to start a large task, the college degree, and finish it. So it can take 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is. I don't necessarily want to say you need to go after a bachelor's degree, but that's usually the approach that you should look at if you decide to go after a college degree. Associate's degree is nice, but it doesn't really shift the needle. In regards to IT certifications, there are some broader, I want to say, weaker ones that show that you have some basic IT knowledge. But the ones that really shift the needle for you are the IT certifications that are very specific, that are very targeted. And you can see those type of certifications specifically in the information security area. There are certifications that are much more complex to achieve, require a much deeper level of knowledge, and there's more at stake. So if somebody hires you because of that certification, there's usually a higher involvement needed. There's much more risk involved. There's much more at stake. And they really want you to be that subject matter expert with that certification, proven that you are that SME, to really get that job to that level where it needs to be. So IT certifications, I would go after very specific ones that not just complement your IT skills, but that really move you up into a certain direction and turn you into that subject matter expert that you need to be. Of course, the lower end IT certifications can help you as well, especially if you are in the earlier years of your IT career or really try to get into IT. But that's really where it's like, if you have a really difficult targeted IT certification but zero work experience, it's not gonna make a big difference because nobody will believe you that you have what it takes. So build up credentials before going after the really difficult IT certifications. So overall, the approach, if you have the choice between IT certifications and a college degree, you might also want to consider the time that it takes. I mentioned before a 4-year college degree. That's a long time, but it's also a slower approach. You might even work on the side and build up work experience and that college degree at the same time. With the IT certifications, you work at the same time too, but you're probably done after 3 to 6 months or maybe a year. So, and that's the benefit of IT certifications. They're easier to adjust to changes in the industry, to new trends, to new developments. A college degree is fairly stale. Yes, you come out with that certain target approach that you're after, let's say database administration, software developer, but you are missing out on faster developments. And especially with AI, development will be much, much faster in many areas. It's not just software development that benefits from artificial intelligence. There are many other areas as well. And so speed could be of the essence, and that's where IT certifications really can make that difference for you. Quite a few companies are looking for candidates that have a college degree, and often the ads also mention that it could be substituted with experience, and that's a very true factor. The more years of experience you have, the less important a college degree is. Yes, it still plays a role, but in general, if you have 8 years of IT experience, the requirement of a company to have a candidate with a college degree are much softer, and it will often be overlooked because you have that proven experience under your belt on your resume. One thing to say really is there are companies out there that require you to have a college degree no matter what. And it will be a hiring requirement. It's a hard requirement. You cannot bypass this. It gets even worse with some companies if you want to move up into IT management. There are companies, if you don't have an MBA, associate director, maybe director is the end of the line, and any higher position you can forget. These companies really have that rule. You need to have a college degree and an MBA on top of it to be able to move up to senior director, VP, or even higher within the company. So that's one thing. If you go after a college degree, does it play a role which school you go to? In general, yes and no. I think it's more specific if you want to get into certain areas at certain companies where a certain school really is important. Harvard, Stanford, those colleges or universities have a certain reputation. Some companies only hire people that graduated from those schools, not just these two. Of course, there are more. But those companies also pay very well, and it's difficult to get into those schools. It's often difficult to get into those companies. You need to network a lot to get into those companies. So you might want to go after it, but there's also a cost associated with it. Unless you can land a free ride with some of those schools and get tuition paid, it's usually a very expensive endeavor to go to those expensive schools. If you go to more lower level schools, which are not bad schools like state universities, these type of things, your cost goes down and you can almost achieve the same results, especially if you are an overachiever and you can, I want to say, make up for that lack of the more accredited college degree with your work effort and your skill set. That's the way to go, in my opinion. But yes, of course, some people, I mean, even if you coast through one of those more elite universities, you still land a nice job. But somewhere along the line, if you are a slacker, it will show up. And well, you might still be employed if you come from one of those more prestigious universities, but you will not achieve the same results that somebody else achieves that is really, really motivated, is an overachiever, and makes things happen. Last question, does it really matter what type of degree? For many companies, it doesn't. For them, it really matters that you completed a 4-year degree. It can be in liberal arts, it can be in accounting, and you get into IT. It doesn't really matter. Of course, if you have a more focused college degree that helps with your IT skills and your knowledge, that will benefit you much more, because not just that the company sees that you have knowledge in this area, but the broader knowledge really helps with, I want to say, being successful. When I started in IT, I went with certifications, but I experimented and worked in so many different areas. I had really broad knowledge at the very end. At the very end is the wrong term, but when I started really moving forward with my career, I had worked in IT support, system administration, systems architecture and design, network engineering, database administration, and a few other things. And that really helps when you start dealing on these larger projects with companies that have a much larger exposure to these type of areas of technology. If you have knowledge in many more pockets than just your subject matter expertise, you are much more beneficial to those companies, and it can really pay from a salary perspective, from a bonus perspective, and show that you are successful. So not an item to underestimate. A broader knowledge related to IT in this case, or to a certain industry, can really make a big difference. So if you go with a liberal arts bachelor's degree into IT to work in a pharmaceutical company, it's not as valuable as if you have a college degree in something pharma related, go into IT, and then work for a pharmaceutical company. Same thing with accounting degree and then working for a financial firm, be it one of the larger accounting companies or in investment banking. A financial degree paired with IT knowledge can make a big difference. And especially if you want to become like a data analyst or other things, definitely something to consider if you have the choice right now, which direction to go. But keep in mind, the world is changing faster and faster in the world of IT, and you want to stay up to date. So maybe even pick a college degree program that includes certifications and not just the generic IT certifications like A+ or whatever it is. Those are good certifications, but you're looking for more. So that's my take in regards to college degree or IT certification, which ones are better. There is no answer which one is better. You have to look at your situation, you have to look at your time frame, and you have to look at your own goals, where you want to go with your career, at what pace. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so as well. And then I would say I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.